Okay, so I have written on this sheet, this is for today, that we have got what is called rate of twist, angle of twist. Phi is called angle of twist. That means if one end is fixed, other end is free, and if it is under torque, so the radius rotates, and the angle by which it rotates is called angle of twist at any cross section. So rate of twist is considered constant, and that is given by this. Then if you want to find out total twist, so you have to integrate this and you will get it like this. If T is constant over the length, then you get TL by GJ, and TL by GJ so total twist of this end, if it is clamped, and this end which is rotated, which is twisted, not rotated but twisted by a torque T, then that rotates by TL by GJ. And then I told you that there is a similarity of this formula with the formula given for axial loaded member. Delta, the displacement of an axially loaded member, is PL by AE. What is AE called? AE is called what? Axial stiffness. AE is axial stiffness of the member, axial stiffness. So here GJ is called torsional rigidity. How rigid? Against torsion this rod is, this circular shaft is, that is called torsional rigidity. GJ is called torsional rigidity. This one is in radians. Many of you have written strain, computation of strain, and there you have written meter or millimeter. In the question paper, which was given, you have to compute some strain quantity. Strain quantity is dimensionless. Change in length divided by the original length. So how can this have a dimension? It is called micro strain. You measure in non-dimensional quantity. So this is in radians. Then J is a new term that we have derived here. J is called polar moment of inertia, and that is given by, if you have an area at a distance r from the center, a small area at a distance r, so area dA, so dA r square integral over the entire area, that means 2 pi as well as r going from 0 to r naught. So it is a two-dimensional, it is area, integral over area. It is a two-dimensional integral. And for our circular shaft, it comes out to be pi naught 4 by 2, or in terms of diameter of the shaft, it comes to pi d4. So this you please remember. There should not be any, you don't have to refer to your notes or anything. Yes, polar moment of inertia is pi r 4 by 2 or pi d 4 by 30. So this is called polar. Then the shear stress at a distance, see at a distance here, so if this is the circle, this is the center, now torque is applied, so at a distance r, supposing at this point, I want on a small element, what is the shear stress because of T, T is applied, T acting, so what is the shear stress? Shear stress is a stress which is in the plane. Which plane? X equal to constant, X is this. So it is a shear stress, it is parallel to the plane. It is within the plane itself. It is not normal to the plane. And so that is given by, so that we call tau shear. The notation for shear stress is tau, and because this is X and phi. X is the first normal and phi is this, but then later on we will be using simply tau. It will be implied that is x phi. So that is given by T into r. R is this distance from center up to that point, P divided by J. This also we have derived. So this formula also has a similarity with another formula that we will derive little later for bending of beams. So that keep this in mind. And if you want the maximum shear stress it is a function of R, because T is constant, J is constant, J for the cross section, T is applied to the cross section, so only R is variable. R maximum value of R is R naught. So tau maximum will be, so what is the variation of shear stress? Variation of shear stress is triangular and it varies. So this is how tau varies from center to the periphery of the circle. So tau varies linearly. So this is how tau maximum is this value. So this is the gist of what we have done. Now let us, so far, there is a term, phrase, not term, but phrase, torsional strength. What is difference between a term and phrase? Phrase consists of number of words. Term is a single term. Moment of inertia is a phrase. Just moment is a single. So this is a torsional stress. It is defined as torque per unit maximum stress. What is the torque required to produce unit maximum stress? We define this quantity as torsional strength of the shaft. Torque per unit maximum stress, that is T divided by tau maximum. T divided by tau maximum. What is T? What is tau maximum? Equal to T R naught by J. I am just writing simply substituting tau maximum. So now then afterwards this J, so J by R naught, it comes out to be J by R naught. Why don't you write? You are writing? Okay. And J, the value of J is pi d4 by 32. Okay, so pi d4 by 32, R naught is d by 2. So the value of torsional strength of a circular shaft, that means T divided by tau maximum, is pi d cube by 16. It is a constant value. It is a geometrical value for any cross section. There is nothing. But then this is called. So given a shaft, you can find out what is the torsional strength. Okay. So these are some preliminaries, and we have derived everything. There is nothing that. Now let us go to. Okay. Now let's say that there is a shaft. It is a constant cross section, though the diagram is not very good. Both ends are solid cross section, but then whether it is solid or hollow, it does not make any difference, except J will be changing. What will be the J of a hollow cross section? Pi d4 32, but then it will come out to pi by 32 d outside 4 minus d inside. So if there is circular cross section which is hollow, so this one is d1 and this one is d2, so you can integrate and you will get that J will be given by d24 like this. This is hollow cross section, so it will be, because you have to integrate from here to here, dA into r to the power of r square. So this will come out to be this J of a hollow cross section. So only J will change whether it is solid or hollow. So if it is solid, well, now let us say this length is L, and I divide this into 3 parts. And I apply a torque T here. At 2/3 point. These are all L by 3. Yes. Now once you have applied a torque there, what will happen? This both ends are clamped. It is nothing is free. So there will be reacting torque over here and over here. So free body diagram of this. Free body diagram means I am cutting it very close to the support. Now this is at 1/3. You have the external torque. This must be registered by A. Let us call this as TA here, as well as here. I do not know the direction, so I am taking everything positive in the positive direction of my coordinate. I think that will come by the. So this rod is subjected to one applied torque. This is called applied. You are applying. And while TA and TD are not applied, but they are the reactions. They are the support reactions. Is it okay? Because there will be some twist. And what will be the free body diagram of the support? It will be here TA, equal and opposite, and it will be here, because you all forget the free body diagram of the support. You have cut it very close to end D. So here it will be, if this is like this, TD. So this is the free body diagram of support A, and this is the free body diagram of support D. Why it is like this? This is going in X direction. This is going in negative direction. Why it should be like this? Newton's third law. Yes, whenever you cut any cross section, on either side there has to be equal and opposite force system. So I have cut it here. So I have assumed this direction myself. Nobody asked us that it has to be like this. So I have just assumed that therefore it has to be like this on this. So this is Newton's third law. But then for the equilibrium of the body, this rod or this shaft is in a state of equilibrium under the action of external T and internal TA and TD. These are only. So it must remain in equilibrium. First condition is equilibrium. So equilibrium of the body. See, these are not difficult concept. Equilibrium of the shaft. That will be the T plus TA plus TD Yes or no? This should be what? So this is one. Equation number 1, equilibrium condition. Now equilibrium condition contains two unknowns, TA and TD. Can you solve two unknowns with one equation? No. So what kind of problem is this? Statically indeterminate. So this problem is statically indeterminate. So realize that this is so it is statically. So please write everything clearly. Even while answering a problem in the in your book at the time of examination, you please write these things. What is the degree? What is the degree of indeterminacy? 1. Number of equilibrium equation 1. So difference between the unknowns and number of equilibrium equations. So 1. Degree of indeterminacy. Degree of indeterminacy. That means we need one condition. If we can get one more equation, then we can solve the total problem. Now how will we get one more equation? Second N. Deformation caused by torque. And why should you go to second N? Yes. So study, that means we must consider deformation. You must consider deformation. How does it deform? So now one thing is, where is, yes, draw free body diagram of AC. Please draw free body diagram of AC. AC will be, that means cut it to the left of point C, and again I want to cut it because I also want free body diagram of CD, so I will cut it to the right of C. So these are already there. So free body diagram is, one is AC, that is 2/3. So this one is 2L/3. Here it is TA. At any cross section here, now what should be this? At the C, this is A, this is C. If I draw the free body diagram of AC, what should be the direction here? This you have to decide, because you are already following certain conventions. So here C you have cut on either side. So C is like this. This is C. C is in the center, and at C you have T. Is it okay at C? Then on this side of C, what will be the, in order that No, but here, see, I am talking of, so there will be a torque here on this side, on the left side of this, and also a torque on the right side of this. Now that direction I will tell you, but then whenever you cut this cross section anywhere, as a free body diagram, what will be the direction of torque? They must be equal and opposite. It must be in equilibrium. So at C end also, you must have a torque TA. That means throughout this A to C, you have a torque, and they have to be equal and opposite. So TA. So this direction is already known because you have already assumed this. So this one has to be like this. You cannot put it, in x direction, positive x direction. The moment you do it, that means you have not understood the basic principle of equilibrium. This body is in a state of equilibrium. There is no other force that requires that this must be like this. And therefore, this one, if this is like this, and this one, it will be TA. Opposite. Then similarly, when you go on the other side, this one you've already assumed, it is TD, I think, right? Yes, TD. Now TD, anywhere in this rod, there is no other torque. So it is subjected to the same TD, and direction has to be, in order to keep this in equilibrium, TD. Then only this is in equilibrium. This point is C, this is C, and this is D. So here, if it is like this, so this direction, that means here it has to be like this. Yes. Direction is okay. So this one, it should be TD. Because if it is like this, then it has to be, this is okay? Or is there any problem? As far as direction is concerned. So that means we are saying first that the body, each body is in a state of equilibrium. At the cut section, we are putting the direction based upon what is the force or what is the torque that you assumed there. So this is keeping in equilibrium. Now if it is like this, it has to be like this. So this is the free body diagram of point C, and this is of body, this one is of body. Is it okay? Now if it is this TATD, now what is the condition that we should apply? Deformation. How does deformation? Now this, under this torque, this rod will twist with respect to A. Point C will get twisted. What is the amount of twist of, what is phi C? Phi C with respect to A. That means I am saying phi A to C. A, it is 0, C is some phi. So what is, here it is 0, here it is phi C. If you are calling this phi C, then what is the value? It will be T. A, what is the length? 2L by 3. So TL by GJ. It is GJ. Is it okay? GJ is constant, so it is okay. So you get here 2/3 TAL by GJ. That is phi C. 1 with respect to A. Now you come to this. D is fixed. Now C must be rotating. Now what is the value of again phi c here, but then with respect to d, call that again as phi c. That will be equal to TB, TD into L by 3 by G, J. Is this okay or what is? Louder, I am not able to. DC. What is DC? Oh, okay. Okay, D to C. D is 0 because which C is rotating with respect to D. So then this rotation and this rotation must be same. Of course, I have written the same phi c both sides, but it is the same point which is rotating. It's same cross section which is rotating. Therefore, the condition of compatibility, that will be equal to 2/3 TAL by GJ must be equal to 1/3 TD by GJ, and therefore this so you get what do you get? 2 TA 2 TA equal to TD. So we got one more equation relating TA and TD. This has come out of consideration of deformation. So now we have got two equations. So I will call this as equation number 2. So please solve 1 and 2. Solve 1 and 2. So solve equations 1 and 2. What is 1? 1 is T plus TA plus TD equal to 0, and 2 is 2 TA is equal to TD. So please solve these two. How much the value of TA? So if I substitute TD equal to 2 TA, so I get T plus 3 TA equal to 0. Therefore this gives me TA equal to minus T by 3. And once you go over here, therefore from 2, TD will be 2 times TA. 2 means again minus 2/3 T. So you have got a rod now, total length of length L, 2/3 T, and then the reactions are, so we had assumed a direction here as positive in x direction. I think that we have been proved wrong. That was a wrong assumption. So this must be opposite because there is a negative sign. So TA equal to T by 3. Similarly, TD also is minus. We had assumed positive x direction. So here again it will be like this, 2/3. Now you please see whether it is in equilibrium or not. This rod is in a state of equilibrium. Sum of all forces, sum is 0. So this is the solution. So we have got this solution. So this is the solution. So the reactions will be like this. So you will be required to solve equations of like this. I think I will take some water. So this is now if you have any questions or any doubt on torque, I think this much is the basic knowledge that you require on torsion. With this you should be able to solve all the problems that are given in the book. But yes, if you have got some doubt, you please tell me right now, not afterwards.